Hello and welcome back to Tangle Tower. In the last episode we got some quite vital information. Found out that Felix had been stealing paint, but was unaware of the fact that there was blood in it afterwards. We also got more information out of Flora, as it turns out that she had a pet that either flew away or died. Let's see what Hawkthorne has to say. So we have some more people to present to her.
I find her rather embarrassing. Little more than a spoiled child.
Penny must be at least 25.
27. Just makes it worse. Considerably intelligent, and her powers of observation are enviable. But she has no ambition. No focus.
In her defense, she's still a teenager.
Barely. Did you get anything useful out of him?
Not sure. What about you?
Nothing worth committing to paper.
I think he knows more than he lets on.
Probably. But talking with him is so tedious. Professor Pointer's a respectable astronomer. Keeps himself to himself.
Oh, come on. That...
What?
We're just surprised.
That was the most polite you've been about anyone.
Really now? Well, do we have something for you? Bam!
Where did you find this?
Do you have any theories about where this might have been?
Or who might have had it.
I have several theories. But they are my theories, and I'm not going to share them.
That's okay. That's okay. I have more ways, so let's,
A book from the library. One of hundreds, no doubt. What makes this one special?
It's about birds.
Yes, I see that.
Okay. Let's see.
What is that?
I'm not sure. It looks like it attaches to something else.
Why don't you go back and double-check the area you found it? Maybe you'll find the rest of the something else.
I'm not so sure about that.
This belongs to you, Hawkshaw?
Correct.
And, what is it?
It's my handheld microscope for up-close investigation work.
What do you magnify with it?
Wrong!
Trace particles, dust, oils, clothing fibers.
Wrong!
Have you used it here at Tangle Tower?
Wrong!
I have.
You're lying!
I used it to examine the greenhouse only 2 days ago.
You're
What were you looking
lying!
for?
You're lying!
That is between myself and my client.
You're lying! You are lying!
There's something about Hawkshaw's handheld microscope.
It's not a microscope!
Something suspicious.
Yes!
Let's ask her about it.
Yes! Bam!
This little microscope thing? You said you used it to search the greenhouse.
And this would make perfect sense, if you knew what my client had asked me to find. Of course, I still have no intention of disclosing that information.
Ha!
You're such a tease, Hawkshaw. Don't worry, we already worked out what you're searching for.
Boop!
You're not as hopeless as you look.
Thanks.
So, that's what you were looking for in the greenhouse? This beetle?
Surely even you can understand the logic of it. The greenhouse is home to a great many insects. The gardener could have easily kept the beetle hidden in there.
Well, Fitz said you questioned him, but didn't actually search the greenhouse.
He is not exactly the type to appreciate subtlety. He simply didn't notice that I was using my microscope.
What do you reckon, Grimoire?
I know for a fact she didn't use the microscope in the greenhouse.
Because it's not a
It's
microscope.
not a microscope at all.
Yeah!
All of a sudden, Detective Grimoire is some kind of expert on microscopes.
Ah, this is easy.
The handheld microscope, according to Hawkshaw, uses a telescopic lens.
Oh, no.
So Hawkshaw lied about it.
No.
Almost. The handheld microscope, according to Fifi, uses a telescopic lens, so Hawkshaw lied about it.
Zing!
I'm inclined to believe Fifi when it comes to stuff like this.
Hawkshaw, why did you lie about owning a telescope?
When you were a child, what did you aspire to become?
A detective? Naturally.
Emperor of the Galaxy?
I wanted to be an astronomer.
Really?
I harbored a desire to understand the secrets of the wider universe. A fool's errand, to be sure, but a seductive one. At 15, I decided instead to apply my intelligence to the world around me. And so, I became a detective. But the yearning for elusive knowledge is a powerful force. I tried to keep it with me.
Sorry, but we're way off track. What's the deal with the little telescope?
A memento from my childhood. Little more than a toy.
Why did you bring it with you?
When I discovered that it was Professor Pointer who had hired me, I dared to consider it something of a planetary alignment. I had hoped he might sign my telescope. An extremely childish indulgence, I admit.
I never would have guessed.
Hold on. You're admitting you didn't use it in the greenhouse then?
Correct. As it happens, I have no need to search the greenhouse to such a degree. Professor Pointer doesn't consider the gardener a suspect in our theft investigation.
So, who is your suspect?
Things have become complicated. My lead suspect
Is
your murder victim.
Zing! She did have an interest in bugs. So, did we not get anything for Pointer on that? Really? That's... So nothing is suspicious on him yet. Okay. Okay, he's mostly been through all of these. I don't think... Well, we did find it here, so...
So, we found some research. What's up with this golden beetle? Is this something you're studying?
I can't help you, I'm afraid. I think it must be something left behind by a previous inhabitant of Tangle Tower.
Nope.
I'm not the first scientist to ever walk these halls, you know.
are
That
lying.
wasn't in the halls. It was in your astronomy tower.
But he's literally...
There's something
Yes!
about something.
Let's ask him about it.
Yes!
So, Professor, what interests you about astronomy exactly?
It's not a matter of being interested. Once you expand your mind to the wider universe, it cannot be unexpanded.
Mm-hmm. And how long have you been an astronomer?
I really don't like to give exact values unless I'm sure I can quantify them.
Convenient.
Why do you ask me these things?
I have a theory about you, Professor.
Oh? Go on.
No, that's lame. That's lame. That's...
You're not really interested in astronomy at all.
What could you possibly mean by that?
I think you're interested in a slightly different field of research.
I mean...
I don't have time for tiny, insignificant insects. My studies focus only on the inconceivably large and the unimaginably far away.
Right. That's why you like using your telescope so much.
Yes, naturally. My little portal into another world.
Yeah,
The other,
about that.
The other tower. Yes, finally, here we go. was actually looking at the crime scene and not up at the sky.
Pointer's telescope was actually looking at the crime scene and not up at the sky.
Which would also
First
why
you accuse me of being a lowly entomologist. Now you're accusing me of, what, spying?
Are you spying?
Why would I need to spy on Flora?
Why? Because you lost your golden beetle specimen, and it's made you paranoid. You think somebody stole it from you.
Might not have been Flora you were spying on. Might have been Freya.
It's a very precious specimen, incredibly rare, valuable in ways you could never understand. Freya was always sneaking around, both towers and in the gardens too. She was definitely up to something.
So, this next question is important. You were looking to Flora's room around the time of the murder. Did you witness the crime, Professor?
No, I didn't. When I looked into the room, Flora was already lying on the floor.
Flora? You mean Freya?
No, Flora. She was lying by the window. I couldn't see Freya at all. It was fairly dark. The telescope isn't at a very good angle. That's why I decided to head over there myself. I needed to know what was going on.
This changes your statement, doesn't it?
No, everything I told you in my statement was true.
Apart from the reason you left your tower in the first place.
Right.
Oh,
Let's go over what we know about the crime scene.
okay. Okay.
That's all the statements collected. Let's run through them all to see if anything doesn't add up.
To see if anyone's been lying.
That too.
Fitz and I were up in the Moonlight Garden most of the afternoon. Then we heard this sound. Lasted about 3 seconds.
We thought it was coming from Flora's tower, so we went up there.
Her door was locked. Nobody was answering. So I made Fitz kick down the door.
Poppy and I went in. Freya was right there, laying on her back.
I left my tower and headed down towards the Grand Hall.
But in the hall, I spotted Uncle Pointer heading down the stairs. I vacated the library, but before I could begin my ascent, Professor Pointer appeared.
I didn't know what to do. So I ran downstairs to get Fifi.
I heard someone heading down the stairs, just outside my room.
Someone began banging on the door. I ignored it, until the someone began shouting at me.
Eventually, she let me in.
I spotted Detective Hawkshaw coming out of the library.
He emerged from the Pointer staircase, crossed the hall, and begun up the fellow staircase. As I was passing through the front door, Penelope called out from behind me. I inquired about the professor, and she told me he'd gone up the fellow tower.
I told her what had happened. She didn't believe me. She got angry.
I thought she was playing a trick on me, so I punched her in the face.
I recognized Fiona's voice as well as the voice of my own daughter.
We left the room, and Poppy's father was waiting outside. He followed us upstairs.
I ran up the stairs, hoping to catch up with him, but Felix appeared and blocked my path.
Back in the hallway, I bumped into a very concerned-looking Penelope. She was heading up Fellow Tower to find Professor Pointer, so I escorted her.
Poppy left the room for a while. When she came back, she had her father with her, and Fifi too.
Felix and Penny arrived shortly after we did.
A moment later, we were gazing down on the body of poor Freya.
Then I took a sample of the red paint on the unfinished painting.
She took me down to the library. We were in there about 15 minutes.
I quickly decided that I should leave also. I took Penelope with me, and we both went back to our rooms in Pointer Tower.
I wanted to go back to my room, but I realized nobody had told Detective Hawkshaw anything.
An unremarkable hour passed before the gardener finally made his appearance.
I think she was annoyed about being made to wait outside so long, but when I told her about Freya, she fell silent.
That's disappointing.
What is?
All the statements line up with each other.
Yeah.
They don't just line up. Some of them even seem to specifically confirm each other.
Okay.
We know a little more about the crime scene now. So, what do you think? Was Freya stabbed by her own painting?
No. Obviously not. Obviously not. What? Where did that come into it? Yeah, blood from the pot was used to paint. No. No, no. Neither of that. No. Let's see. Was used to hide. Was used to paint over. No, we have no proof of that. Was used to paint the red tip. Yes, that makes sense. Yeah, okay.
Blood from the paint pot was used to paint the red tip of the painted ink dip feather to resemble a bloody knife.
I think you're right. Can't decide if I'm disappointed or relieved.
I have a question. Why?
Either it's a very strange coincidence, or somebody set it up.
Yeah.
Somebody deliberately put blood in the paint pot and hid that feather after the crime. Why? To distract us?
Possibly.
Well, it worked.
Possibly.
Flora's the only person who could have hidden the feather, unless someone took it from her.
Let's go over what we do know. The door was locked the whole time. It stayed locked until Fitz kicked it down. Normally, it can only be opened from the inside. Pointer said he couldn't see Freya from his telescope, but he did see Flora lying by the window.
So whatever got Freya got Flora too?
Except Flora survived. She didn't get a stab wound like Freya did.
Hold on. If there was no knife, then what did stab Freya?
It could be anything. It might not even be important.
How is it not important?
Right now, I'm less interested in the what, and more interested in the how.
Yes, exactly.
The angle of Freya's wound suggests she was stabbed at a perfect right angle. That is, from directly in front of her. But she was standing right up by the canvas.
Somehow, Freya ended up lying on her back, still perfectly in line with a painting.
Maybe something went through it.
Through the painting? Wouldn't that leave a hole?
Okay, well, how about this? How do we know Freya was stabbed before she fell over? Maybe her being stabbed and her falling over are completely unrelated.
Yeah. Well, that didn't really solve anything, but, okay. Let's see. Oh. That's actually the first time I've used that hint button. Oh, look at those! Look at those! Ooh. Could they have flown in?
An especially fancy cage.
And it's home to 3 especially fancy birds.
3 brightly colored birds. That one doesn't have a mask.
It's that bird. But these must have been drawn at least a year ago. Oh, how sad. If I'm not mistaken, that little red and white one is supposed to be a bird of some kind. I must say the girls are awfully well behaved today. I think they know we're in the presence of company.
They belong to you? Why do you keep them in a cage?
They need a special diet, particular treatment. I let them out to fly occasionally, of course. But they're all one of a kind. I couldn't let anything happen to them.
Do they have names?
Of course. Let me introduce you to Tabitha, Tamara, and Tatiana.
I've already forgotten all 3 of those names.
Which one is which?
Oh, that's simple. Tatiana is the oldest. Tabitha's the most patient, and Tamara has the best sense of rhythm.
That doesn't...
Glad we cleared that up.
What about the one on your head?
On my head? He's just my hat. He doesn't have a name. Who would name their hat?
You'd be surprised.
I doubt Freya intended it, but the overall effect is a little unsettling, don't you think? It's Flora that's the problem. She's an inescapably haunting presence, bless her.
So something is...
My little writing desk.
There's nothing written in the book.
Bird diagrams.
They're beautiful. Someone really knows their stuff.
What's with those little windows down there?
I think they're there for draining rainwater.
Oh.
Well, I hadn't spotted that before, so...
Does this count as being...
Yeah, no. Doesn't matter. They're bird cages. But the birds
Is
are...
that a
Oh,
note?
it totally is.
I feel like I'm standing in a giant bird cage.
Let's see. So that's her route. That seems to make
Does this
Yeah,
count as...
no, doesn't matter.
usually.
I don't like mirrors.
Huh?
I do by weight. I can feel if one...
I feel like I'm standing in a giant bird cage.
I might need another hit here. Freya's room. Okay. Yeah, I suppose.
A pillow with a paw print pattern.
It's a cushion.
Yeah, but that doesn't alliterate.
Freya's bear.
Looks pretty depressed.
He's had a rough couple of days.
You could say that again.
Freya's plants. They must not need sunlight? Freya's plants. They must not...
Ah!
It's a little glass
I
ball.
think it's a vivarium.
Come again?
See the leaves and twigs in there? Might have been for keeping insects.
Yes, we know that.
Painting supplies.
Just little trinkets.
Let's leave them alone.
Just little trinkets.
Let's leave them alone.
Did Freya paint those animals on her ceiling?
They're kinda simplistic.
Maybe she painted them when she was younger. Drawings.
What's that one on the left?
Looks like two. One of them's holding a red rose.
Ah!
There's something about those petals we found in Penny's room. Something.
Let's ask her about it.
I'm sure that we also got something about Fitz.
So... yeah, we found this.
Oh, that's nothing.
You wrote, "Now I'll get her," on a piece of paper and hid it in your room. That's not nothing.
Actually, it's not the message I wanted to ask about. It's those red flower petals.
The petals.
They're from red roses. And there's only one place in Tangle Tower with red roses.
Yes.
We need a clue. Something that shows the roses. And who they belong. It's a drawing of Fitz and Poppy in the rooftop garden. See what Fitz is holding?
I can't imagine what you're getting at, but it doesn't matter. I couldn't have taken anything from the rooftop garden. It's only accessible from Fitz's room or Poppy's room. How could I have taken something from a garden to which I have no access?
Is it really only accessible from those 2 bedrooms?
No.
For most people, it would be.
People.
But don't forget, Penny's the
My dears, what are you cute?
One of Penny's birds, yes. Was used to spy on. Nope. Was used to kill. Might be a bit of a stretch. What? That's a combination that makes the least sense here. Let's see. Ah. No. 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 No.
One of Penny's birds was used to spy on Poppy and Fitz and steal evidence from them. We know those 2 have been spending time together in the rooftop garden. I'm guessing you got paranoid. Wanted to know what they were up to.
I'm just not the jealous type. I would never suspect Fitz of anything like that. Besides, Tabitha hardly ever leaves her cage. She's certainly never flown up to the rooftop garden.
We need a clue to compare with Penny's birds.
I mean,
something to prove one of them has been in the...
That's fairly easy. Come on.
Let's take a closer look at these. This yellow feather was left behind by Penny's yellow bird when it visited the rooftop garden.
I can't stand it! Knowing the 2 of them are hidden away up there in their private little garden. I couldn't risk spying on them myself, so I asked dear Tabitha to do it for me. I knew she'd be able to bring me back some evidence.
Sorry, Penny, but are you not overreacting a little?
You don't understand. Fitz is slipping away from me. He's so quiet with me these days, but being with Poppy seems to bring him out of his shell. I don't know what he sees in her miserable little... I apologize. This really isn't your burden to bear.
Well, great, but that really didn't do much. Yes. Poppy. I thought we had cleared the suspicion on her. Yeah, we already did that.
Between the lips a silver spoon, a story written all too soon. The chosen dwelling of her heart, unjustly chosen to depart. Lost her liberation lays in the center of a maze. Foregone drifter, holding fast, days as shadow seeker past. Is it bravery or surrender, accepting that your world will render nothing darker than the gloom some 4 walls make around a room? Eavesdrop what the stars are saying, earthly tether slowly fraying, floating helpless from the worst of jealous hunger, selfish thirst. Take a moment, kneel and meet the flowers growing at your feet.
Okay.
Feathers flashing in the light, from a sunbeam gleaming bright. I shield my eyes and turn my head, But all at once I've been misled. Light is shining on the stage, but through the railings of a cage.
Interesting.
Hey, that's me. Not a bad likeness.
It looks like you're standing in a rosebush.
Is there something wrong with that?
Not per se.
I think it's kinda cruel to keep 3 birds in one cage like that.
Yeah.
Does Penny not let them out to fly?
Oh, she does. She must do. But I don't think they're allowed to go far. Penny can be a little protective.
Well, that's one way to put it.
Do you know where those earmuffs came from?
I put them there.
Why?
I found them lying around. I think they belonged to Fitz. I put them on the statue so he'd see them. I thought they looked like headphones, like he's in the recording studio with his guitar. No?
If they do belong to Fitz, he hasn't taken them back yet. When did you find them?
This morning.
Where?
I don't know, in a hallway. I can't remember exactly.
Well. Nope, that didn't do it. Have I not presented the right clue? Yes. No, I haven't.
It's one of those big pianos.
Don't touch
Why
it.
not?
Might be haunted.
Open letter?
Don't you think that's weird? That the letter isn't addressed to anyone? Or signed by anyone?
Someone's being deliberately secretive.
Or they're trying to manipulate you.
What do you make of the statue?
I know that's the only harp in the whole of Tangle Tower. I've never actually seen a real one.
Maybe it's from before your time.
Oh, definitely. You see how old this statue is?
What about the symbols? One of them looks like piano keys.
Yeah. Weird. Yeah, it's mine.
Can you play the tune for us?
Sure. It's literally 8 notes. I have it memorized.
That was not what we wanted, no.
Yeah, it's mine.
What's so special about it?
I got it from my teacher. It's the first piece I ever learned.
How long have you been playing?
Since the day I turned 6. Family tradition. I was really excited to start learning. As soon as I got out of my first lesson, I told Freya and Fifi all about it. When I arrived at my second lesson the next day, Freya was there too. She hadn't asked permission, just showed up. For 2 whole years, the teacher taught us both.
Was Freya any good?
She would have been even better than me, if she'd stuck with it. But one day, she just stopped coming to lessons.
Why?
That's just it. There was no reason. That's when I realized things were different for her. How sweet. Don't look at me. I didn't break it.
Does anybody else use the music room?
Yes. I don't know who, but I can tell when somebody else has touched the piano.
What else would make sense?
Does this belong to you, Poppy?
Now that's not really my style, is it?
But who else would own a tape like this?
Literally anybody? This is mine.
Really?
No, well, yes, it was. I gave it to Freya about a year ago.
What was on it?
Nothing. It was blank. Freya said she wanted to record something.
Any idea how it ended up underwater?
Maybe someone wanted to destroy it, but got really lazy.
Alright.
Those petals.
What about them?
It's nothing. They're just unusual.
Are they now? Really? That wasn't it either. Or was it? Nope. Right, we'll have to go through all the clues then.
So there are 2 families living in Tangle Tower?
3 pointers and 5 fellows. 4 fellows.
What's the connection between them?
There isn't one. Not really. It was all built by the Remington family. Flora's a Remington, originally. So was Primrose, my mother. She married into the Pointers, and Flora married into the Fellows.
So the Fellows and the Pointers own the house now?
Flora owns the house. Depending on who you ask, that means her husband Felix owns it too.
What about your father?
His claim over the house kind of fell apart after my mother left.
Where's your mother now?
No idea.
Okay.
There's something I noticed about Freya's knife wound.
Hit me.
From what we could tell, the blade went in at an exact right angle, perpendicular to Freya's body. And there's only one small pool of blood. Nothing on Freya's hands, or anywhere else. The whole thing is just a little too peaceful. When I first saw it, I thought it looked like Flora was holding a knife with blood on the tip.
You don't think that anymore?
No, it was a stupid thing to say. The room was dark. I was in shock. I'm just an idiot.
But it was blood on the tip. If you hadn't said anything, maybe Fifi wouldn't have checked.
Exactly. It's stupid.
But we would have missed out on an important clue.
Is it a clue? Really? Tell me how it's a clue. Tell me how it helps. Nothing about the knife makes any sense. It's just freaking everyone out. Wish I'd never said anything. That belongs to Flora, I think. Is that Fifi's diary? I'm sure I've seen it in her room before.
That's where we found it.
Have you ever read it? Do you know what's written in there?
Nope. I'm sure she wouldn't appreciate me invading her privacy.
I thought you and Fifi were close friends.
Yeah, we are. It's just Fifi's gotten kinda impatient with me recently.
Do you know why?
I'm not sure.
I'm sure she'd tell you if you asked.
Oh, she would. She'd give it to me straight. Probably why I've been avoiding it.
We also don't have anything on Fifi yet. Right.
You get some weird insects around here, but I've never seen one like that.
I'm not sure anyone has.
Freya might have. She used to keep beetles in a box in her room.
Why?
For fun, obviously. What was inside?
Nothing.
Huh. Freya would always load up the palette with all the exact colors she was gonna need. I think it helped her zone out and focus on the actual painting itself. Like getting all your sheet music lined up before playing a long piece.
Right. So the blob of black paint in the middle, that was for painting Flora?
Flora's dress, yeah. She wears even more black than I do.
Good point.
It was my mother's originally.
So why is it up in Flora's room?
She just gets the most use out of it. Freya would borrow it too sometimes. Where did you find this?
It was in the attic.
Oh, huh. I forgot we even had an attic. Why is the glass cracked down one side?
Natural wear and tear, maybe?
No way. Freya took good care of her stuff. Never seen that one before. Was it in the greenhouse?
No. We found it in Penny's room.
Right. I see a lot of birds up in the rooftop garden. They seem to really like it up there.
Why's that?
It's quiet. Oh, you've been to the greenhouse? What did you think?
Impressive, I guess. But kind of unsettling, with Fitz lurking in the shadows the whole time.
Yeah, he does that. I don't know what that is.
Weird, considering we found it hidden in your room.
Well, my room is full of junk. There's probably a bunch of stuff hidden in there. I don't mean like... Please stop talking to me.
This is a photo of Fifi and Freya, right?
Yeah,
How come you're not in it? You're friends with them too, aren't you?
I'm not really one for photographs.
Fifi looks like she really admires Freya.
Fifi's loyalty to Freya is unshakable. Did you find that in Fifi's room?
No? Should we have?
No, it's just... It looks like something she'd use, don't you think? Is that supposed to be Flora?
Possibly.
Oh, how nice. I think everybody sees something different.
Did Freya ever tell you what she saw in it?
Not exactly. She said something about it being from a recurring nightmare.
Sorry, but if it was from a nightmare, why would you paint it and leave it in front of your bed?
Maybe she wanted to take control of it. Giving something a physical form can make it easier to deal with. Well, sometimes.
Really? Is it this?
Whose paints are those?
They belong to Felix, I think. There's something about that diary we found in Fifi's room. Something suspicious.
Let's ask her about it.
That took some time. Still haven't gotten anything on Fitz either.
Is this your diary, Fifi? We found it in your bedroom.
Of course it is mine. Ridiculous question.
Why is it locked up like that?
You seriously require an explanation. Very well. A fairly common concept, the so-called secret diary, is favored in particular by girls between the ages of 10
So, there are secrets written in here?
and... This particular diary is unused.
It doesn't look unused.
I think
It's somebody else's diary.
How could you arrive at that conclusion? It is kept in my bedroom. It is mine.
We need a clue to compare with the diary. Something to prove who the original owner was.
It has that star.
Let's take a closer look at this. This blue book is the same thing as the secret diary, which proves it belonged to Freya.
You were hiding Freya's diary in your room, and you kept it locked, too.
Why would I do either of these things?
Let's see. Didn't want anyone to see. Let's see. Didn't want anyone to see. Bird in the garden. Nothing makes sense of that. That everyone knew about. Always suspicious of. No. Destroyed? No. Thought there wasn't. Personal secrets within?
Fifi thought there wasn't
No.
personal secrets within Freya's diary. Almost. Maybe just... Fifi thought there wasn't personal secrets that everyone knew about.
No.
Nope.
Yes, didn't want anyone to see personal secrets.
Fifi
Yeah.
didn't want anyone to see personal secrets within Freya's diary.
Is this true, Fifi?
I know Freya was your friend, but if you're trying to hide something,
You did not know Freya, so this might be difficult to understand. She did her own thing, in her own way. By concealing Freya's written accounts, it is simply my intention to preserve her innocence.
Innocence?
might be easier if you just let us read the diary, Fifi.
Very well. I will open it. However, as you read it, please remember, Freya was the most kind and the most wise person I have ever known.
Alright, Fifi unlocked the diary.
Finally. What's in there?
It's back in the flesh this time. Was it me? Did I let it out? Maybe I should rip up that painting. Soul Bearer works. Impressive little things. I have 2 now. Need 2 more. Found my way into the middle. Surprisingly simple compared to the harp. I saw them, all 5, eyes blacked out. Despite everything, I still have a promise to keep. I'll do my best. She could do with a little company.
Freya was definitely up to something.
Something to do with the statue in the garden, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe we should go back and check. And we could have missed something.
Yes. Oh! That wasn't it.
This wasn't here before.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's a little wooden toy. Looks kind of like a crab.
There's a note stuck to the back.
What does it say? Grimoire?
This is my friend. He likes music. Simple melodies will move his soul. Best of luck, you two. Freya. Yeah.
What do you think? Is it really from her?
How can it be?
Why don't we check the handwriting with Freya's diary?
Good idea. Hold on.
Well,
It's a perfect match.
well, it's confirmed. We have a ghost helping us.
Let's keep this to ourselves for now.
What about the little wooden toy thingy?
Maybe we can put it to some kind of use.
Wow, okay. Well, I think that's a good stopping part for this episode. It went on for quite a bit longer than I expected. I thought that this was going to be the final one, which was why I let it go on so long. Anyway, we shall continue the investigation in the next one, so until then, take care.